Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome to the finale of my Let's Play of Sky Cannoneer. Continuing on from the last episode, I'll now be entering the Bastion of Mana, and as always, for full disclosure, I received a key from the developers in order to LP this title. Defiance, win the mission, win without letting any wild pieces get pruned, place 30 cannons. Considering this is really a defensive mission, I could replace my explosive booster for another electro booster. I mean, if the game wants me to turtle, that's the more effective way of doing it. And they have 2 flame tornadoes as well, so I gotta be really careful on that front. I need to prevent it from getting this fort. Well, at least the enemy is posing some challenge. I was worried after the airship flotilla that the rest of the game would be too easy. Thankfully the last mission solved that problem. And I just realized there's a power generator right over here. Let me just go for it directly, see if I can deal enough damage to it. See what I mean? Down in 1 round. Good point. We never saw him during the storyline. I knew it. Indeed, was this all for nothing? Were the Faithless right all along, or mostly right? I suppose this is all leading up to the final mission of the game, the Titanium Citadel. Looks like a super battle station to me. Win the mission, do not destroy any coil crystals, destroy a full health battlestation reactor in a single round. We'll have to destroy the coil crystals, sadly. 1, 2, and probably 3. Have the same setup as the previous mission, by the way. Rebuilding won't be as painful as the last one. Didn't destroy it fast enough. Not that it really did much. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Bruiser Beam at all. It's not really a problem. Not yet, anyways. Bruised terrain prevents building. That seems a bit dangerous. Wait, what? Oh, now I can directly target my power generator on my own terrain. I suppose the orange vitrion is toxic. Whoa, what did it just do there? Apparently the explosion just wrecked a lot of my fortress. Didn't see that coming at all. I'm gonna be defenseless this round. Thankfully, the enemy AI is not taking long term, so it didn't try wrecking my power grid more. That's it. Sequel hook? We set off to investigate the mysterious new Vitrion and what it portends. Along the way, we've shared the truth about the Skylord, and many have joined the fight to live a free life. But Counselor Valdez was right. Some feel too comfortable in their beliefs to accept the blatant proof. Nevertheless, we will continue to tell the truth and expose the lies. And when we have enough rallied to our cause, we will prevail. And thank you for making the game, devs. You're right, that battle station was left undefended. I guess that's it. No more bonus worlds. With all that said and done, it's time for me to give my overall thoughts on this game as a whole. Starting off with the graphics and music. The graphics were overall acceptable, though in some worlds, in particular the first level of Deep Red, it was actually a bit difficult to figure out where the holes in my power grid were, mainly because of the poor lighting. This wasn't really a problem for most of the other levels though. About halfway through the LP, I realized that the pieces that will get pruned are shaded darker from the rest. Once I realized that, rebuilding my power grid became much easier. The music just existed. The only two musical tracks I recall are the map theme and level completion themes. The rest just blended together for me. The story was also okay. I wish we had more character development for our heroes and villains, especially the Council, as we only had 2 levels dedicated to them, and we only saw one villainous Council member. I don't mind how the Faithless arc ended, but considering there's only 2 levels dedicated to the Council, it ended too abruptly. If anything, after the Twin Destroyers, there should be another world, where we then take on the Council, in a series of 4 or 5 stages. It really feels like we should face off against some custom battle havens before taking on the final Citadel. Also, I wish the final boss wasn't just a souped up Citadel. Perhaps make the Citadel a penultimate encounter, but please have another souped up battle haven. Now onto the gameplay. For the majority of this game's stages, the core gameplay loop stayed mostly the same, that being, pick a fort, place your cannons, and start firing upon the enemy. This cycle of combat, rebuilding, and placing new cannons repeats itself until either you or the enemy fails. Whether the objective is to destroy the enemy core, defend some resource laboratories, increase the size of your power grid, survive for long enough, or destroy enemy stockpiles, this cycle holds true. If anything, it makes me thankful that this game was only a few hours long. If it was several hours long, this game would have overstayed its welcome. I do like how the game gives us several options as to how to upgrade our battle havens, in the form of the summons, technology tree, and haven upgrades. In terms of summons, I feel the Crystal Dragon was the best all-rounder, the Airship Flotilla was the in-between, and Sky Destroyer was probably my least favorite one, as usually for the destroyed enemy core missions, I found waiting for their cores to become vulnerable took too long and was way too inconsistent, especially in the later game levels, as the AI got much better at rebuilding stuff. It was much better to just wail on the protected core instead. On a similar note, for the tech tree, I feel that for two of the tiers, the upgrade options were no-brainers. For the first tier, it was a toss-up between Volatile Mix, Cluster Bombs, or Tesla Spikes. Although in retrospect, if I'm going just directly for the enemy cores, Cluster Bombs are better. This is more useful if you want to make the enemy shields more unprotected, or you want to slow down their power grid production. The superpowers I feel were also a toss-up. This is better if the enemy fortresses are more elongated, this is better if you want area denial, and this is better if you want a more defensive playstyle, especially during survival missions. Now for 9 or 12, these were more no-brainers. Cycle Piece is useful, but I feel it's geared more towards skilled players. Overlap Wall I found to be amazing. Once I acquired this, it made the rest of the game much easier. A similar situation to Cycle Piece occurs with Fast Build. If you're really good with placing your tiles, this is awesome. Now for 12, well, it's no-brainer. I'll always pick Overloaded Boosters. Having the boosters apply their effects twice is amazing. Auto Repair has too low of a chance of activating, it should have been more like 30 or 40%. And Power Battery wasn't that useful to me, mainly because I spanned my superpowers quite a bit. The level 15 upgrades are also more of a toss-up. I wanted Ambient Ether because the summons are awesome. Water Towers will be useful for missions where you're facing off against drakes or other enemies who have the Fire Tornado or Fire Projectiles. And Long Walls, I guess that combos well with Cycle Piece and or Fast Build. In terms of the Haven upgrades, these first 5 ones are for accessing the bonus levels of each world. This doubles your cannon damage and was amazing throughout the playthrough. In fact, it made most of the stages much easier, outside of perhaps the final 3 stages. In terms of the 6 fort types, the Reloader Fort I found to be one of the most useful ones, especially as the cannon reloading reduction stacks. Volatic Fort was also amazing, especially when combined with the Deflector Shield. Bombard Fort was more useful in the early game, but once they increased the max number of forts, it lost its luster. After all, this is better in the early rounds than in the latter rounds, as by picking this option, you lose out on DPS in the long run. The Immortal Fort I didn't really find to be that useful, as usually I could rebuild my power grid on the next round. A similar situation occurs with the Bastion Fort. Last but not least is the Centennial Fort. Again, similar situation to Immortal and Bastion. I find it more useful to just go for more DPS. In terms of boosters, the Fortified Booster, again, similar situation to the Bastion Fort. Explosive Booster was awesome, being able to increase my damage further. And Electrified Booster, aka Electro Booster. 2 of them combined with a double booster upgrade made the Bubble Shield amazing. You could keep it up throughout the majority of a combat round. In terms of mission variety, I felt it was decent. Although I didn't really like the Surgical Strike missions, they really felt like filler. If there's one suggestion I'd have in this front, I would have liked if there was more variety in terms of boss battles. For instance, right after the Twin Destroyers encounter, I wish there was a Super Destroyer to end off the Faithless arc. Same with there being a final battle after the Citadel. In fact, I say that the Destroyers were more difficult than the Citadel, mainly as their laser cannons and firebomb attack pierces right through my Deflector Shield. I did like how the encounter introduced 2 new gimmicks. I would have liked to see more bosses with unique gimmicks. Perhaps, for example, in addition to Burning Ground and Electrified Ground, there's Frozen Ground, or something along those lines. Again, I like this boss battle, I just feel it's not the best way to close off the game. As for other suggestions, I feel this game could have benefited with the inclusion of a brutal bonus world. As I said, once I acquired the heated shells as well as the Electro Booster and the Explosive Booster, the game, up until the latter half of the Archway, became easier. I would like there to be a brutal bonus world or a brutal set of challenges to really test your knowledge of the game. Perhaps include a brutal version of each mission type there. I like how there are extra mission objectives for every stage, although I feel some of them can be a bit luck-based. Another suggestion to improve this game's longevity would be to add a local competitive mode, where 2 players with their own battle havens battle it out. I would prefer if there's a way to play it online, but if it's not possible, at the very least add a local mode. So overall, I say this game was okay to decent. It was a nice spiritual successor to the arcade classic Rampart. So I would recommend this title if you enjoyed the arcade classic or other games in this genre. Regardless though, I suggest you wait for a sale, as this game isn't really that long. At the very least, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Well then, I hope you all enjoyed my Let's Play of Sky Cannoneer, viewers. Once again, I thank the developers for providing me a key for this title. It's really appreciated. If you enjoyed this Let's Play, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play.